anything to preserve their final and resting place. It's just unthinkable to say that the governments couldn't try harder to, preserve these two graves.
Indonesian journalist Akram Hanifan's investigation into human remains found at a scrapyard has led him to a dead end. But his research has shown that there was a network of salvagers relying on local labor, targeting warships, and disturbing the graves of countless soldiers.
Perusahaan yang melakukan hal ini masih tetap bisa beroperasi dan bahkan kapal-kapalnya pun masih tetap mendapat proyek dari pemerintah. Saya pikir polisi harus bersikap tegas dalam artian menelusuri kalau bisa sih menindak pelaku-pelaku ini.
For Nia Ridwan, a lead researcher with the Indonesian Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, there remains much work to do across the archipelago to set things right.
Kita sebagai manusia gitu ya, secara sisi humanisnya kita juga harus menghormati gitu ya. Bisa kita bayangkan kalau kerabat kita juga meninggal di negara lain, kemudian kuburannya juga dijarah atau apa, kan itu pasti menyakitkan hati. Ini yang perlu kita juga tanamkan gitu ya kepada mereka gitu. Ada rising awareness yang harus kita tonjolkan saat ini, meskipun itu bangkai kapalnya adalah milik entah itu Belanda, Jepang, Jerman, kemudian Amerika, Australia, Inggris gitu ya, itu tetap harus kita lindungi.
I would suggest that Indonesia has been unfairly accused of having to protect and preserve these sites. Ultimately, the vessels were in these waters to defend colonial interests, and there has been limited cooperation over the past 75 years between the allied countries that were involved and Indonesia.
Since the discovery of this large-scale salvaging in 2016, a new push for greater protection of shipwrecks is finally paying off. New legislation has been approved, focused on some, but not all known war graves.
The Kawasan Konservasi Maritim was announced in February 2018 to coincide with the anniversary of HMAS Perth sinking. It's Indonesia's first maritime conservation zone, so it's very significant that that's been established around Perth, and it provides for a core zone of about a hectare that seeks to protect not just the wreck but the marine ecosystems around it.
The conservation zone also brings hope that other shipwrecks will be recognized as proper war graves here and around the world. To honor and to remember more clearly what has been hidden beneath the waves for more than 75 years.
We can't ignore the ocean or what's in it just because it's out of sight, out of mind beneath the waves, because the ocean is the world's greatest museum.
Taiwan, an island where I was born and raised. I have witnessed firsthand how it has evolved into a beacon of democracy in Asia and a bastion of Chinese culture and tradition. The economy used to be one of the four Asian tigers. Now the island is playing catch-up, but the tides could turn one day for their treasured island to shine again.
This is Asia Now.
It's 2 p.m. in Singapore, Hong Kong, 11:30 in New Delhi, and 1 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Angela Lim. At this hour, at least 6 dead in India's western states as Cyclone Tauktae triggers heavy rain and strong winds. Tens of thousands are being evacuated ahead of landfall expected tomorrow in Gujarat. China accuses the US of blocking a Security Council statement on the escalating conflict between Israel and Palestinian militants. And Thailand reports a daily record of more than 9,600 cases. The government cuts the country's growth forecast for this year, even as first quarter GDP comes in better than expected. India's weather agency has issued an orange alert for Mumbai. Officials are predicting heavy rains and strong winds as Cyclone Tauktae barrels through the country's west. At least 6 people have been killed and nearly 150,000 others forced to flee their homes. Cyclone Tauktae is currently on a northward trajectory. It's expected to make landfall in the state of Gujarat tomorrow morning. It's packed with winds of up to 175 kilometers per hour. The storm is said to be the strongest to hit the area in more than 20 years. Hundreds of houses in Goa and Karnataka have been damaged, with reports of flooding and disruptions to electrical supply. The Met Department warns that Tauktae could further intensify and trigger more flooding in the next 24 hours. And Rebecca Bunton is in Mumbai with the latest.
Well, we're already feeling the rains here and some winds as the cyclone makes its way along the coast northwards. It's travelling along the west coast of India. It's already been through Karnataka, Kerala and Goa, where at least 6 people have been killed, bringing heavy rains and strong winds which have knocked down electricity poles, uprooted trees, caused a huge amount of damage to houses and sadly claimed those lives as well. It's now alongside Mumbai and we're feeling the effects here, the rains, some winds as well. And then it's going to make its way northwards to Gujarat, where it will make a landfall. And it's expected at that point it could intensify with winds up to 200 kilometers per hour. Weather officials are now saying it's intensified into an extremely severe cyclonic storm. So that's something that has the potential to cause a huge amount of damage. And there are a lot of preparations that have been going on here in Mumbai, in the state of Gujarat as well. Thousands of people have been evacuated in Gujarat. People have also been evacuated from low-lying areas of the state of Maharashtra, where Mumbai is located. Of course, this comes at a time when the states are grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic and its massive second wave of infections. So patients have been evacuated from the field hospitals here in Mumbai to other hospitals.
Now, Delhi's lockdown is extended for another week from today. The move comes as India's new COVID-19 cases dropped below the 300,000 mark for the first time in 25 days. But the death toll remains high, again staying above 4,000. At the same time, a new drug known as 2DG could bring new hope for India. Authorities are rolling out 10,000 packs of the drug in the capital, New Delhi, after authorities approved it for emergency use. Now, 2DG is a powder taken with water twice a day for up to a week. It's based on a molecule originally meant for treating cancer and is said to prevent the coronavirus from multiplying. It's been developed by military researchers and a local pharma company. Trials showed 2DG was effective in reducing hospital stays and dependence on oxygen. But some experts caution there is a lack of published data on human trials and a lack of transparency on whether the drug harms healthy cells. India is struggling to contain its second wave, which officials attribute in part to the B1617 variant. Bharat Biotech, the company which produces Covaxin, now says its jab is effective against the variant. Covaxin has been reviewed by peers in the medical journal Clinical Infectious Diseases. India's vaccination drive is expected to get a boost this week. The government says it will send more than 5 million additional doses to states. India uses 2 locally made vaccines and Russia's Sputnik V. The country's immunization drive has been slow amid severe shortages and a surge in virus cases. Experts say India is carrying out fewer tests and that the actual number of infected people may actually be higher. An incoming cyclone is dealing further blows, forcing vaccinations to stop in Mumbai and Gujarat. Thai authorities have reported a daily record of more than 9,600 new coronavirus cases, and this raises the country's caseload to more than 111,000. 25 more people died, pushing the death toll to 614. Most of the latest infections, nearly 7,000 of them, were among prisoners. Thailand has been seeing